Hello everyone, this is Melanie from Melanie B's Creative Studio, and you're wondering what in the world have I got in front of me today? The reason I have not removed this and revealed what is in it is because I wanted to show you how it comes packaged, to let you know that when you spend the kind of money that something like I'm going to reveal to you costs, that it is going to come packaged very well. So I left this on here and I'm going to kind of lift it. I don't know if it's going to show, but this is like a tubed bubble wrap, very secure. And this came in a brown box, and the item inside it came from the company that I've brought to you before, SanerDirect on Amazon. And I'll put that name right here. And in the description below, I'm going to link you to SanerDirect on Amazon and to this particular item. So let me get this open and we're going to discuss this amazing tool. You will also see that I took off that bubble protection, and it is also wrapped with a clear cellophane so that it's protecting the screen. This is an A2 sized light pad. It is a 25.4 inch by an 18.5 inch light pad. So you may be asking yourself, why do you need such a hugacious light pad? And yes, hugacious is my own word. And I gotta tell you a quick story time with Melanie. You can skip ahead if you need to. It's been a while since I've done a story time with Melanie, but this will be worth it. So I used the word hugacious for so long, like 20 years. 30 years maybe, that my daughter, Ashlyn, whom you all know from the group, who is now 30, was in 7th grade, I believe. I went to an open house and I was speaking to her English teacher, and her English teacher said something to the effect that Ashlyn had come up to her and said, "How do you spell the word hugacious?" And her English teacher said, honey, that word doesn't exist. Do you mean ginormous?" And Ashlyn said, "No, ma'am, I mean hugacious." And her teacher said, "Do you mean," I'm trying to remember the other word, I can't even think of it, some other, random thing that means large. And Ashlyn said, "No, I mean hugacious." And her teacher said, "Honey, that is not a real word." And Ashlyn said, "Yes, it is. My mom uses it all the time." And Ashlyn proceeded to disagree, of course politely, because my children were very well behaved, believe it or not. And had not an argument, but disagreed with her teacher. And then probably proceeded to use the word like ginormous or something because she couldn't figure out how to spell hugacious since it didn't exist. And she's never let me forget that. She's like, "Mom, if you're going to use fake words, can you at least tell me how to spell it?" So I'm going to tell you how to spell it right here. Since I made up the word, I figured I could make up the spelling. So anyway, sorry. Yep, that's how I roll. So anyway, yes, I'm a little bit smartastic, which is another one of my own words. I'll put that right here for you for anybody who wants to use it as well. All right, sorry, moving on. Sorry, SanerDirect. I hope I didn't just mess up your video. Okay, why do you need this light pad? Okay, first of all, I want to point out a few things because this is my first time to ever see it in person. And I have to say, I'm thrilled because as a person who has severe, rare hemiplegic migraines, which are triggered primarily from light and things that have a glare. This has a matte finish. It has an anti-glare surface. You guys, like, I have never been so excited to see a anti-glare, like it's not leaving fingertips. I can't even explain to you how excited I am about something that would normally seem so insignificant to so many people. I'm going to show you something. I don't know if you can even tell, but on my screen, I have an anti-glare matte protector because my screen will cause me to have, severe hemiplegic migraines, which could cause a stroke. So if I'm going to use a light pad, if it has a shiny surface, it can trigger a hemiplegic migraine. So even when I'm diamond painting, if I'm diamond painting, I have to put the painting on the top before I turn it on. And I have to use it at a very low setting because of the light. So this thrills me. And a hemiplegic migraine is like a seizure, almost like an epileptic seizure. So it's not something that, you want to trigger on purpose. So you guys, that is a feature that for me is a seller. That is a selling point. That is a benefit. And I didn't even know that was a feature when I asked them, could they please let me test this product? I'm extremely excited to see that. Sorry I went on about that, but that is extremely important to me. And there's a lot of you who suffer from migraines, and that might be a very important feature to you as well. Now, you'll notice a lot of light pads have a different kind of connection source, and I'm going to pull this out right here. This is their connection, and it has this kind of adapter, but it comes with, and I'm going to move this back up so we can keep it in the background here, and I'll slide it over. It comes with all of the components that we need so that we are not sitting here going, we didn't get this part and we've got to order another, adapter or something else that we need. We don't need to do any of that. We have this here. Now this is going to be what controls our lightness to darkness. I am going to plug this in, and we are going to test this with several different projects. But let me show you what else this comes with. It also has 2 binder clips. Now these are plastic, which I personally like because I feel like metal binder clips might be a little harsh on our surface and our artwork. So I feel like the plastic ones, even though they have a nice grip to them, are a little gentler on our projects. So that's just me. They seem like they would be a little more protective maybe than a metal one. I haven't tried the metal ones, but you know what I'm saying. I just feel like I like the idea that that's plastic. In addition, we're also going to have magnets to hold things in place. So there are 4 of these, and they are high power too. Now, on my group, we've had a discussion recently about placeholders, and I had talked about how we can use things like this as a placeholder, and the ones that I had pointed out on Amazon actually were similar to this. They had a little magnet on the bottom too that you could take off and use as a placeholder. But if you use this, if you put your project on your light pad, you can actually use these and place hold as well as holding down your project onto your board. This is a magnetic surface. It isn't as a super high powered magnetic surface, but it will stay in place and hold down your project. Okay, so there are 4 of these magnets. Now, for those of you who do have other magnets, those would work as well. So you could add more. You see these little suckers? They're strong. You could add more magnets to hold down and make more placeholders as you need to. So even if you didn't use this as your light source, what a great surface for your projects. And then you would also have the background as a light if you need it. Amazing, amazing. I love that. You can't tell I love it, can you? Now, here's something else they've included, and I want to point this out because things like this are very important to me. This is all about their customer service. I'm not going to go through it. I just want to say that this gives you information about how to get 100% satisfaction for customer service. If you have any issues, any missing parts, any of that kind of stuff, and about leaving a review, a 5-star review, a 4-star review, but talking to them first to get satisfaction before you leave any negative reviews. If you have any issues, letting them take care of that before leaving any kind of feedback. That way they can take care of the problem, make sure you're happy before you, leave them some kind of, derogatory comment or 1 star, that kind of thing. But let's go ahead and get this plugged in, and I'm going to talk about some projects, things you may not have ever thought about for using Light Pad 4. So it may look a little darker than it did a minute ago because I turned off all of my lights. Now my overhead lights are on, and I might actually turn these off as well. I wanted to give you an idea of the brightness without other lights. Now obviously when I use a light pad, I have other lights going as well, but for you to be able to see what kind of brightness I'm talking about. I want to turn off the lights, and then I'll add projects and show you the difference with and without the lights on. But for you to see just by itself, here's the toggle switch. My power is going to be over there, so this is kind of coming across at this point, but that's only in this particular room and the way I have all of my setup. So I'm going to just put it here for right now to show you. So you can see this is at its dimmest, and then we're going to come up and slowly, that's halfway, and we're going to build up to all the way. So you're going to see some major light. Now for me, this is super bright, and turning off all the light, and only light I have in this room right now is natural light coming through a double window. So let's do that test again. Now my camera is going to readjust for low light, but let's try this with a little bit of light. Let it readjust. That is its dimmest, so you can really see the power and the light this is going to put off. My camera keeps readjusting, so that is its full strength. But the important thing is how much light it's going to give us when we're working on a project. So let me get some lights back on. We're going to put a project over the top. Let's test it in the way that we're going to be using it. So a lot of people use their light pad for kind of the obvious things: tracing, coloring, you know, hand lettering. Okay, for those of you who love to do the hand lettering, or you're just learning how to hand letter and you have practice sheets and you want to go over the practice sheets. Obviously you don't need a light pad this size, but what if you had 10 other hobbies that you could use your light pad for, and you could use it for your hand lettering, plus you could use it for scratch art. So you guys, when I did scratch art and when I did the video, what I like to use my light pad for is that when I'm scratching, sometimes it's easier to see with the light pad off, and I'd scratch. And then I would turn the light pad on and I could see some extra details, and then I would scratch, and then I would turn it back off. And so I kind of used it and toggled in between with the light pad on and off. But the light pad was a nice thing to have when I did my scratch art. Okay, so for those of you who diamond paint, hello, you guys know how valuable the light pad is for a diamond painting. All right, this is a 16 by 20 diamond painting. Some of us work on huge diamond paintings. This is the biggest light pad that I've ever seen. This is probably the biggest one they offer that is not for commercial use, for like architects, designers, etc. So you guys, how amazing is it that this fits my 40 by 50 centimeter diamond painting without me shifting, moving, sliding, and whatever. Even my huge diamond paintings will fit this, and I can just kind of slide and move. It's going to be amazing. Now I do have the light cranked up as high as it will go. I can put this at whatever comfortable level is okay for my vision. And I will zoom in really quickly just to kind of show you this is at the highest power. But you can see how clearly that is and how visible that is to read. It is like, who needs a magnifier? Who needs an overhead light when you have this much light coming from underneath? Amazing. Now for a diamond painting, I would use my binder clips because these are slick, you know. And then I would also use my magnets just strategically placed to hold this in place. I didn't do it for the video because I'm moving on to other projects. Now I know I can go on with about 15 other projects, but here's one that you have not thought of because I've told you never ever do it. But I'm going to tell you in one situation how you can use a light pad with a paint by number. When I first started paint by number, I had this painting from Paint Plot when they were a brand new company. And this canvas had such black lines and numbers that I, being the genius that I was, thought, I will water down some white gesso. Y'all, I know you're feeling my pain right now, right? And apply a thin coat. You see this unfinished piece? That is why this piece has never been finished in over 2 years. Well, just recently, I had the idea when my friend, Reed Toth, said to me, "Oh my gosh, Melanie, I'm finishing a custom that is near and dear to my heart, and it is for a very important present. But I have put down 2 layers of paint, and I can no longer see where the lines are, but I need another layer because the whites are just not covering, but I cannot see what I'm doing anymore. And the reference guide isn't really helping me because I can't see, where the outlines are." And I said, "Reed," I said, "try using a light pad underneath and see if you can see the lines." And I don't even know why that came to me. And she did it, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you just saved me." So now she paints her entire paint by number on the light pad. Now you guys, she's completely OCD, admittedly. So I do not recommend you do that because you will see every flaw, okay? What I do recommend is that if you have done something as a newbie, as I did, and I'm going to show you, and put a wash of white gesso over your paint by number and you can no longer see the lines or numbers, the light pad will save your life. And I'm going to zoom in and show you what I mean. I can now see every line and every number. And this is no longer a trash piece. And I was never going to throw it away. I was trying to figure out, because this did not come with a reference guide, and I was new enough to not know to take pictures. So I no longer will have to throw this piece away. It is a gorgeous painting. And I have looked at this for years and thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I think I have it focused enough now for you to see how clear these lines and numbers are. This is no longer a piece that I have to look at and say I will never be able to finish it. I could not bear to throw it away, and now I don't have to. The paint looks horrible, it looks splotchy, but this is why you never ever put a light pad up under your painting while you're painting. Now, Reed's like, "Oh, I put 3 and 4 and 5 coats on my paintings now, and it takes her 215 hours to complete a painting." I am not about that life, okay? But if you need to see lines and numbers under your paint by number for whatever reason, this is your solution. So y'all, I hope I have just given you at least a few reasons why a light pad, especially one of this size, is like a must-have in your arts and crafts studio. I am so thrilled that SanerDirect sent me this one. It is fabulous. I love everything about it. I am so thankful to them for sending it to me. I'm going to post links below for their Amazon store. I will link you directly to this light pad. They have other size options, but the one that you're gonna want if you like this size, which is the largest size, is an A2, and so be sure to look for that one. This is definitely a Christmas wish list item. You guys, thank you as always for being here with me today. I hope you found this to be a super helpful video. I will see you back soon.